Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
It's waffle box time.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this?
My crotch is itchy.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
What would you do if you had $1 million?
2 chicks at the same time, man.
I just thank the Lord she didn't live to see her son as a mermaid.
You killed a hooker!
Call girl!
No,
She was
Cyril, when they're dead, they're just hookers.
This time we are sure she's a woman, right?
Why do you want to listen to the TV with the stereo on?
Because I like to party.
Let's do this!
On that note, welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. This is episode 9. I'm Mike Fish, and I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Kush Hayes. Kush, how you doing, my man?
I am now Judge Kush Hayes, as I have been selected by Janelle Smith, the chosen one of Iron Dragon TV. They have asked me to be a celebrity judge in their Action Fest 2021 festival that is going to happen August 14th. And Judge Kush Hayes.
Where's your gavel?
I've had the position less than 24 hours. You got to give me a minute. All right.
You got to get that on order. This week, though, what have we got to talk about? We've got Nicolas Cage's Pig. We've got Jeff Bezos' Pocket Rocket. We've got some beach volleyball sports news. Facebook prison and jail and things like that. We've got so much to talk about. But before we dive in, look, again, you know it's going to be a good show. You hear that? I got notes. What have you been up to?
I like how you take notes, dude. Yeah, it's very professional.
Oh,
I wish I could follow your example.
They highlighted everything. What have you been up to? What have you been up to in the last 7 days?
Yeah, well, as this drops, I will be actually driving up to Sonoma, California to participate in the National Hot Rod Association's event this weekend.
You judging that
third
too?
Or fourth of I'm pulling cable and carrying heavy stuff and plugging in TVs. And hopefully not positioned at the start line, which is the worst place you could be positioned during the actual event itself.
Why?
These things are little rockets on wheels. They go incredibly fast. They go a quarter of a mile in under 225 miles an hour. I originally asked, how hard is it to just drive in a straight line at that rate? The answer is very hard. I'm positive I've told this story here, but I'm going to say it again. The first year I did it, saw a woman sideswipe a wall. Now, I saw her get out of the car. She was helped. I saw her walk to the ambulance. Again, she was helped. But 2 days later, when the event was done, and I was able to just check in on her, don't remember her name, career over. Pelvis shattered. Years of rehab, all just because she drove 200 plus miles an hour at a quarter of a mile's distance and slammed into a wall. Freak accident. But if you're at the starting line and you get to feel the actual engines, they vibrate all your internal organs to a degree that I am not comfortable with or happy about still to this day.
Too much pleasure for Kush.
No, it's awful, dude. There's no pleasure whatsoever in it. But I do believe the crowd there is getting some sort of sexual gratification from it. Honestly, like you feel that shit up in the stands, and sometimes I've been right behind it, and it's just no.
Like we've all seen those special movies where the lady sits on the washing machine. So
that is pleasurable. The washing machine is pleasurable.
So this drag racing has got to be just as good, if not better, I imagine.
People are fans of it. I had no idea how big of an event it was, but yeah, there's like 40,000 people there, dude. And the sun is just beaming down. The unforgiving Central California sun is just beaming down on you. And I mean, hopefully I'll be at the finish line.
not to be cruel, but because I'm not in that much of a position to speak, but you haven't really got the hairline for that kind of conditions.
Not only the hairline, but the rest of my skin, because as you can see, I am a redhead. So it's a miracle I haven't spontaneously combusted.
Oh, I thought you was a vampire.
Oh, I'm a daywalker for sure. Anyways, that's pretty much what's new with me. The judging a film festival coming up, doing hot rod shit. That's what's going on in the life of Kush Hayes currently.
I've been doing nothing, the exact same thing.
Nothing.
As I've been always doing, just drinking, sleeping, and that's about it.
That can still be nice.
Can be pretty nice, but
I had one of my first days back at work today, and I was like, yeah, I normally get up at 8:30, but I want to stay until like 11:45 today. Oh.
Well, actually, that you ever jogged the old noggin. So, again, not to go into too much detail about where I work, so I don't want, just in case they hear this, I don't want them thinking I'm talking about the job. But I work in the sales field. And last Thursday, we did very well, let's just say. And so they gave us all Friday off. And so
nice.
It was pretty sweet. So do you know what I did?
What'd you do?
This is a little trick that I like to play. So I kept my alarm on for 7:30, just so I could wake up at 7:30 and go, do you know what? I deserve a 4-hour nap. I've done well.
Okay.
So it's really nice. So I got up at 7:30, took the dog out to do her business, and went back to bed, slept again. It was awesome. It's a great Friday.
Well, you still got to get the dog out, so it was good you set the alarm. But I like what you did there. It's I would have, since there's no dog here, I would have just turned the alarm straight off and just slept at my leisure. But yeah, I like the idea of like, ooh, I don't have to do this. I can now go back to bed. It's way better than those folks who set their alarm for 7:10, 7:20, 7:25. All right, finally I get up at 7:45. It's counterproductive. Just sleep in those extra 45 minutes, you jerk offs.
Those are monsters.
That's ridiculous, especially if you have to sleep next to that. It's no.
While I'm doing this, let me see if I can. I'm just trying. This is gonna be great video content right now.
Get a beat going, Mike. Get a beat going. While you're doing that, I'm gonna plug another thing I'm doing. Yo, The Final Girl is getting together on Barely Functional Gamers Twitch feed. This is the 22nd annual celebration of Kush Hayes' 21st birthday. That's coming up August 6th on the Twitch TV. We had a rehearsal last night. I like to be kind of organized. I would like to get some practice here at the Casa. Unfortunately, we had a great rehearsal. Unfortunately, I don't have a playlist, and those guys are just like, nah, man, we got to do pure chaos. We're going to just throw any song at you, Kush Hayes. And I'm like, all right, challenge accepted. We're doing this. So The Final Girl, Kush Hayes, August 6th, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's what's going on. It's going to be a lot of fun. I wish we were doing it for a charity. We'll just have to make it a success and do that next year.
So what I was trying to do is get the timer up so I could actually work out where we are. But apparently Zoom says I have got the timer up, but I haven't. I can't see a goddamn timer. Zoom lying to me. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're going to wing it. We're going to wing it.
We're going to do it live.
Do that trick. So I can actually... So yeah. So let's dive into this week's conversations, and we're going to start things off in an unusual territory, one that we've never really started off before, is sports news. All that.
Yeah, sports news.
Sports news.
Featuring the butt.
Featuring the butt. The butt's coming up later. One little thing I've got, because I only just saw this late before the recording. So obviously the Olympics are coming up in like a week, I think.
Is that a week? Okay.
Or it might even be this week. I don't know.
It feels like it's right on the horizon.
It's right there.
Yeah.
You can just feel But so how, because obviously we've had to wait an extra year for the Olympics because of the old COVID nonsense malarkey. So these athletes have been training an extra year, 5 years, waiting to realize their dreams of representing their country, right? So how awesome would that feel that you've been selected to represent your country at the Olympics, Kush? Like how like tell me, give me that raw emotion. How that feel good, right?
There would be a huge sense of pride and then a giant weight on my shoulders.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway. Yeah, do it for America.
Don't be too disappointed in me.
I mean, at least they're not going to put a bullet in me at the end of this. But,
Anyway, I was hoping you was going to be super excited, but because the whole point of the story is that Poland sent their swimming team. They sent at their 23-person swimming team to Tokyo to represent their nation in the swimming division or swimming category or whatever.
They all drown
until someone reminded them that you're only allowed 17 people in your team.
Oh.
And so 6 of these people who were like all hyped up at the Olympic Village, getting ready to represent their country, had to be told, oopsie, we took too many. You can go home now. You're not required.
Again, another Polish joke. Right? Poland, you're not doing too good in the humor department here. God damn it.
Yeah. And as you can imagine, 6 of them aren't happy about that.
I'd imagine 5 of those were already alternates, and then just one guy is just ass out. If you're in a position like that, that's who I would cut, and then whoever your least 5 successful people after that, those are now your alternates. I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely a bummer though. If you're on that swim team,
well, if you're not anymore, you're going home. But speaking of butts, you might be shocked to find this out, Kush. But there's rumors. Rumor has it. They're there for you. That this might. The European Beach Handball Championships, which I know you've been following this very keenly. You got the bracket up and everything. But there's rumors that the Beach Handball Championships, specifically the women's division, may have some dirty perverts in charge of it.
You sent me the link about this, and I have to automatically agree.
So before we get, just in case, I know this has been hot news, hot topic all around the world. So probably most of our listeners already know this story, but just in case you don't know this story, I'm gonna tease you a little bit. So Norway have been fined 1,500 euros for wearing quote unquote improper clothing to the beach handball tournament.
Yeah.
What would like, this is a beach game? What improper clothing are they speaking of?
It's dental floss and pasties, right, Mike?
With their flags on.
With flags on the dental floss.
But apparently these ladies had the gall to dare wear shorts.
Fucking bitches. Shorts. Okay, wow.
And the European Handball Federation, I didn't even know this was a thing. This is awesome. The European Handball Federation were like, what? I can't see your, what? Put your bikini bottoms back on. And they weren't happy. So the Norway Handball Federation apparently requested, hey, our ladies are more comfortable wearing shorts. Can we just wear shorts rather than put bikini bottoms? And they were like, no, that breaches the integrity of the sport.
What? That's so stupid.
If I can't see butt cleavage, is it really beach handball?
What's really weird is I feel like in the early 2000s, like this would be a story, but it would be the opposite, where it's empowered females want to show as much skin as possible, and this conservative totalitarian dictatorship is trying to put their claws in them and say, no, you must cover your skin. You may not show anything. And in fact, it's just the opposite. The ladies have a fantastic argument. Like, shorts are probably way better for them in this sport. And now this is called handball, but is this volleyball, or is this something that I don't know anything about called handball, or a different version of handball?
I have no idea.
That's
but
fair.
Say it's something
That's
that
fair.
involves a lot of moving and running on sand, which
Mhm.
I imagine I've never wore bikini bottoms, but I imagine it's way more comfortable if you're just wearing shorts
Most
rather than
likely.
bikini bottoms.
Yeah.
So I can, yeah.
Not this is bad form on the European Handball Federation. This is just this is
Dark day
no
for the
pun
European-
intended. This is not a good look, guys.
This is not the 1940s, man. Get with the times. But that's...
I know we do the movie review later in the show. Mama Hayes had her birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I took her to see The African Queen through Fathom Events. They did a thing on Sunday, and African Queen movie is 70 years old. Katharine Hepburn, Humphrey Bogart. Not to get too deep in it, but there's a bathing scene. But Katharine Hepburn, well, once she takes off her full Victorian gown from World War I Victorian gown, she's still wearing a whole other suit that covers all the way down to her calves. All right, from her neck to her calves, she's fully clothed in this. Still like going, Humphrey Bogart. I don't like. No. You go to the opposite side of the boat. Oh, you go the only 20 feet that direction. Okay, and I have to bathe over here now in these clothes. I just wanted to throw that in there. This is how far we've come in society, folks, where
I bet the heads
government
of the
is
European Handball Federation hate that scene.
They probably hate that scene to death. Katharine Hepburn, 44 years old in that movie from 70 years ago.
Oh, so at the end of the article, so they're just passing the buck here. So the EHF, the European Handball Federation, is committed to bring this topic forward in the interest of its member federations. However, it must also be said that a change of the rules can only happen at IHF. I'm going to assume that's International Handball Federation, said the spokesman Andrew Barringer. So but this is in the rules. This is in the handbook. Hey, ladies, you must wear bikinis. That's so weird.
It's a weird rule, and it's clearly exposing that the guy who created this just wanted to see chicks in bikinis. As a dude, I totally get it. But for athletic competition, you must evolve and go with the sport and go with what's easier. And if these ladies need to wear shorts as opposed to bikini bottoms, let them wear their shorts and play the game that you created, or at least have popularized in Europe.
Yeah, if you're that worried, Andrew Barringer.
Andrew Barringer's way out of line on this one.
Just do your job. Let the women play in shorts if they want to wear shorts. And if you really...
Let them play in fucking yoga pants if it's easier for them. Jesus Christ.
And if you're really that frustrated, just go to Pornhub or something.
Go to Pornhub. Go to the strip club on the corner. Yeah, man. There's easier ways to see half naked women, or fully naked women if you're lucky.
He's at the strip club throwing like euros. I guess it's euros, not dollars. Euros.
It would be euro.
It's like, yeah, you can play beach handball in that. You'll be my number one player.
You're gonna be my poster girl.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the face of my company.
Now I'm just like thinking like the head of the European Handball Federation is like Vince McMahon. All right,
Yeah, he probably feels like Vince McMahon.
Bark like a dog.
He's probably abused his power. Whatever power comes with Handball Federation,
with great power comes great responsibility.
It happens. It happens.
Next topic. Talking about crazy businessmen. Jeff Bezos. Did you witness? So this is coming out Wednesday. So yesterday, he shot up into space. Did you watch Did you watch it? Did you see it?
No, I it was on my radar, but I didn't even realize that it was yesterday. So I saw a couple memes about it. I saw the link you sent me, and I went, "Oh shit, that happened." I saw that his rocket is very phallus shaped, so that's exciting. It
The only
looks
thing
like
missing is
a hard, erect, veiny penis.
the only thing it's lacking on Dr. Evil's version is at least Dr. Evil's had balls. This is
I can't tell what's meme from real, but I'm pretty sure Bezos's ship has balls as well.
No, I think you might be. I looked at Jeff Bezos's
yeah, you did.
Penis rocket, and it was definitely lacking balls.
Cock rocket.
But yeah, so he went to space. He was joined by his brother Mark. Got to bring the old. I bet a bit of like his mum's like, "Hey, mum, I'm going to space."
Mom
take
totally
your brother.
Made him take your brother.
Mom, I don't want to take it. Take him, or none of you's going to space. None of you. Oh, hate you, mom.
That's totally how it went down too.
Definitely,
Mom, I'm the richest man in the world.
I'm the founder of Amazon. You're not. You're a naughty boy. Shout out to
Amazon, motherfucker. You from Michigan.
But yeah, so he took his brother Mark, and then he took Wally Funk, which is possibly the greatest name of a human being ever. An 82-year-old young lady who's been in the space program since the 60s.
Okay,
but
cool.
she was in something like the Mercury 13, who during the 60s and 70s had to go through all same training as men, but she just didn't get to go to space. So she now finally got to live her dream. So shout out to Wally Funk, great name.
Wally Funk, and Wally Funk is a woman.
Wally Funk is a woman.
Wild. What a time to be alive.
If I was 50 years older, I would definitely be going after Wally Funk, just because it's a great name. Last one, the fourth person was a name of, I don't know why they've buried it into the article, but his name was Oliver Damon, who's an 18-year-old student. So this is a record breaking because you have the oldest person to go into space and the youngest person ever to go into space. But yeah, it was really cool. It was just what was really cool, because I was like geeking out a little bit, because so you had the rocket go up, go into I'm gonna have to describe it, but for those watching, it's almost exactly like what it is, right? So it went. So this is my little swell bottle. So it went into space.
Look at that. It's taking off. It's going into the atmosphere.
And then just as it was about to go in it, like it went. Whoop. So this
it is separated.
So just at the tip of the penis.
Just the tip.
Featuring Jeff and his buddies and his brother, went across the what's the word of it? The Kármán line.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd be like technically in space, they could see it, and then this bit went fell back down. But just before it hit the ground, like its rockets went and some legs came out and it just landed again.
Okay.
Really fucking cool to watch.
That sounds really cool. So the guy from Virgin, which is embarrassing that I don't remember his name because it was literally in all the papers.
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson. So Richard Branson did this last week, and he got 50 miles into the atmosphere. How far did Bezos get?
Bezos,
Jeff Kisses.
So all it says is that he reached a maximum altitude of around 107 kilometers above the Earth.
Okay.
Computer,
How many miles is 107 kilometers?
Here we go.
66.5 miles for those who couldn't hear that.
Straight up in the air.
That's pretty incredible still. Straight up in the air.
So wait,
Okay.
so how far into space did old Richie
Branson
get?
went 50.
50
miles.
50.
50.
Okay, yeah. So according to this, so the Kármán line, which is the most widely recognized boundary of space, is about 100 kilometers. So if he went 107, so he just took his cock rocket and just went just a tip. Yeah.
I mean, good for him. This is what they wanted, I guess, and this means they will attempt another trip, and they will go 70 miles now, 75 miles. They'll keep pushing the boundaries as they can, and hopefully they don't explode.
My only hope is that just before takeoff, that the main engineer, when they were getting strapped in, I hope he just went, "Hey, is everyone primed and ready for this trip?" And then shot Jeff a wink, like, "Hey."
Oh. Boo. Boo. I wish this was a more produced show so I could boo you harder. But I still like that joke. So.
Don't worry. We'll get you back in one piece. Same day delivery, Jeff. Same day delivery. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Tip your waitresses.
Hilarious.
Hilarious. Do you know what's not hilarious? Actually, it's kind of hilarious. So, before we get into your time spent in, because you was a naughty boy on Facebook recently, which we're going to get into in a minute.
Sad slide whistle.mp3.
So I was perusing television last night, as I do. Not as I do, to be honest. I hardly ever watch live TV anymore, but I just had it on in the background. And then there was like, now this new sci-fi show. And it's like the name captured my attention because I thought, so there's a new show on sci-fi, which is called Surreal Estate, starring someone.
It's a terrible title.
Is it though? Apparently, when I was looking into it, so the whole premise of Surreal Estate is that this guy helps people with haunted houses get them ready for the market. He helps sell their haunted homes, right? And apparently, the original idea of the show, or the original title, was supposed to be Surrealta, which is, I guess, is slightly different, but it's basically the same premise. But so I thought maybe this was like a reality TV show, which would have been awesome. But no, it's a drama. So for those listening, I'm doing air quotes, drama. This quite captured me, as this is going to be potentially, I think, like this show looks so bad that this may be my new favorite TV show of all time. Simply because, so the opening couple of lines of dialogue might be the greatest opening lines for a TV show ever. And I'm gonna role play it for you now, Kush.
Break it down. Oh, excellent.
You missed it. So the opening scene. So this is woman. Her name is Megan Donovan. She's sitting in her home, and it's obviously, very haunted. Like her fireplace tries to set fire to her, and she's like looking.
That'll happen.
She's looking through a book of autopsy photos, which is weird. I don't know why you're doing that, but they start moving and coming to life and being like, and she's like, ooh.
Like Harry Potter, the photos just start motion.
So
a book of gifts. Okay.
Yeah. So she tries she's like, ah! Like the opening scene of Ghostbusters, the librarian. Ah! And then there's a knock at the door, and she opens the door, and he's like, oh, I came about the house, and she's like, oh, it's everything's weird happening out there after me, blah 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 blah. And he goes,
No me es gusto.
No. It's not. There's no problem with you. It's the house. But I'm here to help. Like she has no idea who this guy is. Just cold calling in the middle of the night. But anyway, apparently that's not important.
It's great that we're going back to haunted houses because the last decade, thanks to Blumhouse movies, it's not the house that's haunted. You're the person that's haunted. You are haunted. This thing is following you specifically. Continue.
But no, this is the house apparently. So she doesn't really ask him any questions. But then she goes, "Okay, I'm here to help." And she goes, "Are you a priest?" And he goes, "No, I'm the real estate guy." Cue opening credits.
Cue the opening credits. Oh no!
And then the next thing you see, they're at like a diner having a cup of coffee and just casually talking about ghosts and stuff. Like, okay, you just had this experience where your house is literally trying to kill you, and then coincidentally, some guy knocks at your door and goes, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent. And do you want to have coffee?" And she's like, "Yeah, fuck it, why not?" Right.
Oh, so with this information you've given us now, Mike, I'm picturing the real estate agent. Does he have a name? I'm sure he does.
His name is Luke.
Luke, very biblical name, as opposed to Star Wars, which is what a lot of you marks are thinking about. Anyway, Luke. I'm guessing Luke had a paranormal experience when he was younger in his house, and something happened where his folks may or may not have been real estate agents, but he has decided to combat this evil, and the only way to do it is much like Superman getting a job at the Daily Planet, because that's how he's going to find out where the problems are. He's going to get a job at a real estate agency, and that's like oh, this house was exposed to like a murder where the entire family of 5 was killed in cold blood, and now he has to exorcise the demons. Am I close to this, Mike? Based on what you've seen.
Unless I missed it, there wasn't much kind of backstory as to why this guy's
stupid
helps to sell. Maybe it's gonna be an episode.
You have to have the backstory on this bullshit. Jesus Christ. Like the Ghost Whisperer, which is what the closest example of this is, has a backstory. Maybe they reveal it over time. See, this would have made a great reality show because places that are always haunted,
like the Property Brothers going to haunted houses.
I don't know who those are, but okay,
look it up. It's a great show.
Okay.
It's okay. So the Property Brothers. I'm going off topic here, but the Property Brothers are, as you can imagine, a pair of brothers. One is a real estate agent, and the other one is like
John Property,
super duper handyman. So the whole premise is that one of the brothers helps them find a property for them to buy, and then the other brother does it up for them.
He flips it and exercises it, and this house is clean of spirits, and now we quadruple its value. That's what that show is, right?
So I need to wrap up this first episode rather than just talking about, because the episode is fantastic, right? So there's other members of Luke's team, and so while they're trying to investigate what's going on in the house, why is it so haunted, Megan, who's the homeowner, informs the team that she's never ever been in the basement, right?
Never
been in the basement.
How long has she lived there?
So these guys go, "Oh, let's have a look at the basement then. What's going on down here?"
Naturally.
And that's where they are. Well, one of them, I think, only one of them, almost gets eaten alive by this like demon dog, like almost like the one from Ghostbusters.
Yes.
So he's like, "Oh, fuck that," and runs back up and closes the door. Never go back again, right? And so, long story short, I don't want to spoil it too much for our good friends and family listening.
Spoil it.
But towards the end, Luke, who's the main guy, obviously realizes, so he's like doing some digging, and apparently her father, who originally owned the house and she inherited it after he died, did some extra work in the basement because he wanted a nice wine cellar down there. And so I took the word for word from the official Sci-Fi Channel website's like wrap up of the show, just because they wrap it up beautifully. Okay, so armed with a flashlight and some store-bought pork chops, he ventures into the basement in search of the source of the spiritual shenanigans. The chops keep the purgatorial pooch busy, so this demon dog likes a pork chop, apparently.
As who doesn't?
As who doesn't? While Luke and Megan investigate further into the unfinished wine cellar. Then, just as Luke expected, the workers inadvertently opened up a portal to the demon realm whilst constructing the cellar and forgot to close it. That's where all the bad vibes had been coming from. A little welding and that house should be market ready. The end.
A little welding, and
so the portal's still there. They just covered it up.
It's just bricked up. Yeah, I mean sometimes that's just the answer. Just cover it up. Just put a rug over it. No one will notice. It'll be fine.
Just like why you got some friends down there, you can hear us. What's that? No, nothing. Nothing. It's just behind that wall. It's nothing. It's fine. See, that's what the Ghostbusters were messed up with at the end. They could have just got a handyman in. I put a new wall up there. We can just ignore the.
Well, there's so many adventures we didn't see in the cinematic Ghostbusters, but yeah, I'm sure they brought in a handyman. I'm sure they had a cable guy and a plumber and everyone else just to debunk stuff.
Well, I want to know.
Dan Aykroyd, then he believes everything.
Yeah, he does. He does. That's how he came to write that movie. Dan
Aykroyd is legitimately crazy, dude. He believes all that shit. Like the reason he's so good in Ghostbusters is that's him.
It's a documentary.
He's not playing a character. Yes. Thank you. You understand. We're here.
But before we wrap up Surreal Estate, I want to know why they didn't do more in-depth investigation of how this construction group inadvertently opened up the demon portal realm.
No one knows that bullshit.
No one knows that.
You can file permits, but you're not going to get a captain's log or anything.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. And also, we have to wrap this up in 54 minutes, dude, with commercials. Come on. Or I guess it'd be 47 minutes. Excuse me.
I think it's 44.
Minutes. 44 now?
They're slowly creeping in more commercials.
Fucking whores.
Fucking bastards. Next subject. But yes, I will be watching the next episode, definitely.
I want to check it out now. I wish this was like a paranormal reality show, but you have my attention. I would love to check this out on sci-fi.com.
So yes, if you do want to tune in, I believe the new episodes air on Friday nights on Sci-Fi, but you can get them on demand on the Sci-Fi app on your TV. Next story. So obviously we've got our movie review coming up, but we do need to touch on because I think you need to kind of explain your actions, grow up a little bit, if I'm quite honest. Because
you're not wrong.
Our very own Kush Hayes was banned from Facebook for
thrown into Facebook jail.
How many days?
3 days. 3 days. In fact, when this drops, we'll come out of this like 8 hours after this drops.
So okay, so what
5 p.m. Wednesday.
So obviously the most famous person to get banned from Facebook was Donald Trump. Now, before anyone watching or listening to this is, oh, why are you going to bash? I'm not bashing Donald Trump. I'm just mentioning that he did get banned from Facebook. It's a fact. I'm just mentioning it. But the reason they banned him was because he incited a potential insurrection and coup on the American government. So if Kush Hayes also got banned from Facebook, whew, what did you do, my friend? What did you do?
In a private Facebook group that is synonymous for trash posting, you know, we let things fly. So, apparently, some folks like to dance by the line. Other folks take giant leaps across the line. That was not this. I'm just stating what the environment is. While someone was comparing last year's Netflix movie with Charlize Theron, I honestly forget what the name of the movie is now. Fun movie too, but it's easily comparable to The Highlander. And the guy who posted it, William Bill, last name forgot for convenience.
You didn't forget. You know,
he badmouthed The Highlander. He badmouthed 1986's The Highlander with Christopher Lambert. And I told him to shut his whore mouth. Much like Ron Burgundy would do. This is clearly a joke between adults. Like, if he was offended, there are moderators there he could go to and squirrel this out. But it didn't even get that far. Seconds after I hit the send button to tell this man to shut his whore mouth, shut his sex worker mouth up, I was put on pause, banned, muted, whatever adjective you want to use, for 72 hours from 5:02 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That should resolve now, Wednesday. But yeah, that's what I did. A robot decided that I was bullying someone, that I was inciting violence, that I was just not being a good person overall. And
so you had to get put in timeout.
I was put on timeout. You can dispute this, but because of the COVID, they tell you right up front, hey, we might not even see this. You have 14 days to arbitrate this, but we might not even see that.
What does COVID got to do with
so do what you
Facebook?
There are less people to work. There are less people at work.
Aren't they just working remotely?
Less people in the office. They could be working remotely, but in this situation, there's less people available to decide the fact that while immature, and I admit it 100%, this was immature, it was also non-consequential. This man was in no danger.
Well, I'd love it
if he was a whore, he would actually be making more money than I do.
If you did dispute it, and was like, yeah, in fairness,
he didn't even have a chance to be offended by it. A robot decided that this was offensive to him, and that's how this was decided. So in my arbitration,
damn cancel culture,
I explained everything I just explained here, but I also went, mind your fucking business. You sent a robot to do a man's job, and that's not okay. So nothing's going to happen from it. I will serve out the remainder of my 72 hours, and probably best case scenario, in 3 days after my sentence is up, I will get a response saying, yeah, we think you're a bully, Kush Hayes. You're a fucking cunt, and we can't accept that. And your 3 days still stands, which means if there's a fourth incident, it'll probably be a month, if not a week.
Wait, a fourth incident? How many times have you been banned from Facebook?
So I got a warning once upon a time for telling another dude in the same group, shut up, ho.
Right, Kush, what have you got against sex workers?
I don't have anything against sex workers, except I did call Aquamom. I also called her a hoe because in a weekly world news post, that's a tabloid. The tabloid from this folks, the post was Bat Boy and Octomom unite in a successful union of marriage. And I went, damn ho. And again, Banned. I got a 24-hour banning on that one.
Okay, may I offer you a piece of advice? 2 pieces of
Please
advice,
do.
maybe.
Standing by.
1, when you get to the point where you're like, I need to insult this person, you need to like expand on your vocabulary.
Okay.
Stop using the word hoe.
But that's so fun.
Or 2, maybe you should not hang out with this group anymore because, again, it just seems to make you angry and call people garden tools.
Look, so when I did expand my vocabulary from hoe to whore, I was still banned.
It's not expanding, it's just adding letters.
Look, this is kink shaming. Okay, you have every right to be a whore, Mike. You can be a whore. You can be a man whore, and that's all right.
You can whore if you want to. You can whore yourself.
Shut your goddamn whore mouth if you disrespect the Highlander.
Go back to your home, whore island.
Much like one of the sound bites on this show, the Highlander won the Academy Award for greatest movie ever. Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby.
So there you go.
Stand by my decision there. So, but yes, because of this, the consequences are I haven't been able to talk about
Highlander.
Me being a judge for the Iron Dragon TV Action Fest Film Festival for the last 12 hours, 24 hours, and that's disappointing because I want to tell everybody. I'm thankfully, a guy who has 5 or 6 different platforms to spread this message on, but Facebook is actually the most popular. So this was.
Did you just call me John?
No.
Oh, it sounded like you just called me John.
I didn't address you at all, Plummy.
Well, I'll let you off then. Speaking of movies, it's Kush Hayes movie review. This is the jingle that I'm singing. It's a new thing, and maybe I'll clip this and put this in every week. Kush Hayes movie review. Shut your whore mouth.
Come on, not yet.
So new movie.
I saw a bunch of movies
week.
this week, Mike Fish. I know you're interested in everything, but
we are now.
You have one specific one
because we're big fans of the old Nicolas Cage. So,
Nicolas Cage, is he bad in anything? He's done bad movies, but is he bad in anything? The answer is no.
What was the worst movie? Was it Ghost Rider?
No,
but what I was about to say,
I understand what you're saying.
That was a bad movie, but even he was amazing.
Yes,
he was amazing in that movie.
That is a bad movie. He is now bad in it.
That's Gone in 60 Seconds. Apparently, that's widely known as a bad film. I love it. He's great in it
for sure. That's that great time where everyone's trying to remake Fast and the Furious, which was still remaking Point Break. But yeah.
Face Off.
Gone in 60 Seconds. I ain't seen that in decades, but shit.
I want to watch that.
That's an entertaining ass movie, and he's good in it.
Face Off. Amazing movie.
Don't talk shit about Face Off, man. You're going to get me a fucking 4-month ban if you say anything bad about Face Off.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
I love him.
Take his face
off.
Okay, no more drugs for him. But yeah.
That's Nick Cassavetes, who is the son of John Cassavetes. John Cassavetes is a very popular director. Nick Cassavetes, his opening start was doing like Skinamax films, so like just low budget movies where he's pretending to have sex with a chick, but the lighting's all bad. And then he accidentally directed The Notebook, and that would be the most famous thing you know that guy from. No more drugs for that guy. That's the most famous thing you know that guy from.
Great movie. Great
goddamn movie.
The only thing, obviously we're not talking about that movie, but there is that awkward scene where, even though it's not technically, it's not technically him in your brain, because it's when John Travolta takes over his body, when like the daughter he's like going on to his own daughter, but it's not
Guess
him.
Papa's got a
John
brand
Travolta.
new bag.
That was anyway.
That's a creepy scene.
But John Travolta's still doing things, still making moves, and he's in the new movie named Pig, which I was quite surprised to find out that it's not a modern day remake of Babe. It's so from what I did, because I haven't seen it yet, because I don't go to the movies. Right now, I still haven't gone to the movie just yet. But from what I've read, a lot of people, and you can kind of, I mean, I guess, by the way, if you really want to see this movie and you don't want it to be spoiled, then toodaloo, come back after you watched it, because this is what we're going to be talking about now. But so rumor has it, from what I've read, a lot of people are saying this is just John Wick, but instead of a puppy, it's a pig. Can you confirm?
So that's how it was sold. It's John Wick with a pig. Okay. And you put Nick Cage in that situation, you're like, yes, I would absolutely love to see that. And when you do, it's very well directed. I don't have any information in front of me. I'm not as prepared as our man Mike Fish here. It's very well directed. Cinematography is fantastic. It's a great looking movie. Story-wise, what a waste of fucking time. So, Mike Fish, I'm not planning to spoil everything, but we'll just say spoilers.
It's a truffle pig.
Do you remember that scene in any of the John Wick movies where when he was confronting the Russian mafia, instead of murdering everybody in the room, he just made him a 4-course meal? No, you don't remember that because it didn't happen, because it happens in Babe, or it happens in Pig, and it's just incredibly underwhelming. This is me. Everyone else, every other review I've read loves this goddamn movie. You're all a bunch of marks. All right, you're looking for something that isn't there. This is just it's thankfully only 91 minutes, but it is a long 91 minutes. It takes place in Portland, and Portland is a very wet city, but it is one of the driest goddamn movies I've ever seen, and nothing really makes sense. Thank you. Nick Cage is basically Portland's most famous and respected chef that just kind of fell off the radar. He's taken refuge in the woods. He lives there as a hermit. He's got a little shack. It ain't anything, but it's 4 walls. It's got a roof. Keeps him dry during the rainy seasons. He lives with a pig. There was a traumatic event that we're never really privy to, but it involves his dead wife, who apparently just died. She didn't die of anything special. She just died. Terrible stuff. Nick Cage has gone from just what turns out to be a chef, nay, the most popular chef, to just some guy who just looks for truffles in his backyard. The pig is there, but then it turns out, like, I don't need that pig. You can find the truffles in the trees. They'll tell you where to go. He just loves the pig. He literally loves the pig. He's not fucking it. That actually comes up at one point. He's like, no, I just like my pig. It's good to know. Because the entire time you're like, no, it makes sense why he's going after this pig. This is like a valuable commodity. This is the best pig, Mike. No other pig can do what this pig does. Okay.
Do you think at some point during production, someone was like, do you think the audience might think that he's fucking the pig? No, surely not. Yeah. What if they do? Let's just put a line in there just to make sure he lets everyone know he's not fucking the pig. Right. Action.
Well, the guy who rightfully asks him if he is having carnal relations with his pet, he's the kid who will be the Rock's avatar in the Jumanji movies. He's also the son in Hereditary. I don't have his name in front of me, but again, that guy's going to be a big actor. He's already been in a bunch of big franchises, but that dude's future is very bright, and his opportunities are only wide. However, yeah, Nick Cage looking for his pig. We comes across some meth addicts in Portland, very common to Portland, FYI. And they're like, yeah, we gave it to some dude. And long story short, the kid's dad, who is like a culinary gangster, he's not like in the mob. He doesn't have protection, but he's made a bunch of restaurants. They've been very successful. He's sold them. He's made more successful restaurants. And thus he's got a lot of money. And therefore he thought he could steal the pig, maybe ransom it, but just, keep Nick Cage out of the truffle finding business, which is big money. Unfortunately, the pig dies during its captivity. And
Babe, no, babe.
We're not privy to that. It's a scene that's explained after Nick Cage wins the heart of this gangster, because Nick Cage he's like, I know how to find my pig. You gotta take me into Portland, and we have to go to this hotel that doesn't exist anymore, but the sub basement is there, and they hold underground fights there, Mike Fish. And if you can sustain X amount of time of just having people beat the shit out of you without fighting back, you can win money. Or in this case, if you're Nick Cage and you're looking for your pig, you'll find out who might have your pig. Spoiler alert! It's the top culinary chef in town.
It's a very coincidental prize.
It's also unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary. It's because this is ultimately not John Wick with a pig. It makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever. Nick Cage just takes an ass beating for 1 full minute. There's a clock timing down, and just a little dude, too tall to be a midget, too short to be a regular man. He just punches the shit out of Nick Cage. I thought it was funny, but it serves ultimately no purpose. And if I had to review Pig outside of this commentary, I don't have a written review for it. I just watched it and was ultimately disappointed for a super indie-rific movie. I'm gonna give this one 2 out of 5 stars. It's a Netflix at best. It's Netflix at streaming at best. Don't go to the theater to see this. Don't go to the mom and pop. It's nothing. It's a big empty calorie.
It does sound like someone who was drunk, who didn't have like this fleshed out, who just went to someone to ask for some money. Hey, can I have some money to make a movie? What's the movie about? So it's Nicolas Cage has his pig stolen, and now he's gonna go find the pig. And someone's like, yeah, I guess that sounds interesting. So is it one of those movies where you kind of all the way through it, you was kind of trying to love it, but you just in the end, I can't love this movie.
Yes, but for me, my tolerance went after 20 minutes. I was just like, where are we fucking going with this? All right, you're showing me a whole lot of nothing here. That we're stalling for time. Again, it's very well directed. It looks beautiful for what it is. Despite how bad my review is, it looks great. Okay, that's no denying it. But the substance, there's nothing there. There's nothing that should make you get out of your COVID-free house, face society, welcome danger, and spend 90 plus minutes in this movie.
I remember a similar movie to that was, do you remember the movie Safe House with Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds?
I would see that on demand, but yes.
I went to the movies to watch that back in the day because I was like, Denzel Washington, Ryan Reynolds, how can this be bad? Action
and that's
movie.
Ryan Reynolds actually acting, not just being quippy Ryan Reynolds. He's that's a full role for him.
It's not Ryan Reynolds starring as Ryan Reynolds. This is actually he was playing a character, and it was like I wanted to love that movie, but it's not good at all,
or at least not great. You know, maybe it was okay, but yeah, I
remember
again watching that at my cousin's house, just going like, It's kind of dull. Should have been better. Should have been better is what I left for that theater. Left that movie with.
Do you remember the movie Burn After Reading?
Also, should have been better. Very overrated for such an independent film.
I remember, so it's a true story. I don't know if I've told this story before. Maybe I have. Did I?
That was on IFC the other night.
I don't know if I've told this story
That's very
before.
funny
Maybe
that
I
you mentioned
have.
it.
But I remember,
to me,
so
you
I
haven't, but break it down.
I was at a friend's house. We was watching Burn After Reading. And at that point, again, spoiler alert if you plan on watching it this weekend or whatever. But so there's a scene where Brad Pitt's character dies. And
right in the closet. Yeah.
At that point, he was the only good thing about that movie, I thought.
I agree.
And so as soon as his character died, I literally just got up and I was like, fuck this. And I just walked out of my friend's house and went home. I was like,
oh, wild.
This is just ruined. I just went home.
Okay.
I've never seen the end of it.
I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie out of disgust. At least out of the theater. I just bided my time. But yeah, there's only been a few movies in my life where I just went like, fuck you. And I turned it off. It would definitely be a remote control activated thing. Like, fuck you. Wow. For that movie though. Okay. Yeah. Cause he was the best part of that movie. His character's stupid, but that's the charm of it. Like he's playing off type. He's not cool. He's very, very, he's dense. He's oblivious. He thinks there are things happening that aren't. And then ultimately George Clooney just kills him by accident.
And it's one of those movies that if you haven't seen it, you've seen something of it, because there's one of the most famous GIFs where like Brad Pitt's doing this.
Okay.
In his like cycling outfit. Pretty sure that's from Burn After Reading.
Yes.
So
I almost thought you were going to talk about George Clooney's bicycle, but no, that is the GIF that everyone knows.
So yeah, if you haven't watched Burn After Reading, I'm sure you probably used a GIF from the movie. But I would say don't go your way to watch it. It's not worth it. Save yourself a couple of hours.
You know what? People like that, but that movie was so indie-rific. I want to say it was a Soderheim film. Who Soderheim is actually a big director, but he goes out of his way to be as indie-rific as he can. They're like, no, I don't want this to be in 3,000 movies. You have to be in 200 movies, in 200 theaters. Yeah, no one really knows about Burn After Reading. It's the same thing with that other movie Brad Pitt did with James Gandolfini. It would be Gandolfini's last role. It's not a good movie. People like it for whatever reason. Drawing a blank. I'm seeing. That's okay.
Do you remember what it's called?
I don't. If you want to stall for a second, I'll
I can
pull it
stall.
up.
Right, so while he's pulling it up, don't forget, make sure you follow everyone on social media. I am at Mr. 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 Mike Fish. He is Kush_Hayes. Follow us on Wafflebox POD on all the platforms, waffleboxpod.com for all the links. Normally, everything you need to see is like around us, but we was having some technical issues with our other platform. Kush couldn't hear me, so we went to Zoom. We went old school. Is Zoom old school at this point? So we're recording on Zoom, and he can hear me, so we can actually have a conversation. So you have to put up some blank boxes if you're watching this on YouTube. If not, subscribe. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Audible, everywhere you listen to podcasts. Have I stalled long enough? Just Google
this is some bullshit.
What?
It's not on here for whatever reason, or at least I'm not. Ocean's 12, Babel, Ocean's 13. There was a commercial, Burn After Reading, The Curious Case of Benjamin Buttons, but then we jumped to Inglorious Bastards. I was positive this movie was Moneyball 8.
Wasn't
Oh,
Troy,
Killing
was
Them
it?
Softly. Killing Them Softly, which was just before World War Z. Okay.
And we've already discussed how shit World War Z is.
World War Z is awful. But it's surprisingly Brad Pitt's biggest film.
Is it really?
Yes. The biggest movie he's made at the box office. And despite the fact that they had to do like 75% reshoots, still a profitable movie. They almost made a sequel, but not profitable enough.
Oh, I'm so glad then.
For that bullshit, no.
I did not want to see a World War Z 2. Because annoyingly, as we've already discussed, I'm a big zombie fan. And as much as I don't want to see a sequel of World War Z, if they released a sequel of World War Z, I'm seeing that movie. Like, I wouldn't be able to not see that movie.
You probably have to. I mean, it's...
Well, there you go. Anyway, beautiful stuff. What an array of spectrum of subjects we have covered today. Always fun to chat with you, Cliches, and hopefully our syrup squad.
Appreciate having me a part of this.
Enjoyed this show. I think
Syrup Squad represent.
Hashtag Syrup
Getting
Squad.
sticky with it.
Yes.
No. Getting sticky with it. No.
Maybe Will Smith will
do
our new theme song. Yes. Right. So, make sure that you subscribe, like, follow all the platforms. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dogs. Make sure you listen to Wolfbox. Share. We appreciate everyone that listens, everyone that shares us. We'll be back next Wednesday with a new episode. Who knows what we're going to talk about? That's the great thing about the show. Mm-hmm. The next 7 days.
I'll tell you about my NHRA experience. That's for sure.
That and also the next 7 days of the universe will guide us to what we're going to talk about. Okay. It's very spiritual podcast. But
highly unlikely there'll be a movie review next week. Could happen, but unlikely.
Just maybe I'll just have to review Surreal Estate episode 2.
I'm down for that.
But until then, one, shut your whore mouth.
Shut your whore mouth when you're talking bad about the Islander.
Yeah, they are. But until then, take care of yourselves.